Good evening. Hello. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's good? What's good? What's good? Good evening. All right. I'm going to give everybody a minute, give all the socials a minute to announce that I am on and live since I am running late. I am running really late. I had no idea it was 10:41, y'all. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I honestly thought it was 9:41, so my bad. I know those who were looking for me at the time that I said that I was going to be on, right? Like when you say you're going to be on at a certain time, you should strive to do that which you spoke of. Um So I'm sorry for everyone who was looking for me an hour ago, literally. I had no idea it was 10:42. Okay, so it is what it is. If you're watching me and you've never seen me before, it's probably because I'm an hour late getting on live. And I have to apologize. I'm supposed to be on between 9:30 and 9:45, but things don't always go as planned. And I've had a crazy day, and I wasn't even going to come on tonight and speak to you fine people. But you know what? In life, you have to remember something, and that's called done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. So I had a crazy day. I've had a crazy week. There's been a big life situation in my family, and I've had to deal with it all week, and it's just been wild. And then we had something else happen, and so a lot has been going on in my life. But regardless, I want you guys to remember this, and this is what's important. Regardless of what's going on in your life, you have to realize if there's something that you have decided that you are going to do, it's never going to be the perfect time. There's always going to be something going on. There's never going to be perfect timing. And so you have to decide, am I going to do the thing that I said I was going to do, regardless of what it is that's going on in my life, right? So we talk about success. We're always talking about how to be successful in all aspects of your life, no matter what it is, how to be successful. I could be talking about how to wipe yourself, how to successfully wipe yourself. It doesn't matter what the topic is, okay? We want to be successful in everything that we do in life. Eventually, that is the goal, right? I'm not there. I'm not sitting here like I've got it all figured out. I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. In fact, if you want to know why I do lives for myself. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, y'all thought it was for you. No, I'm just kidding. I do lives seriously for y'all because I love people. I want to see people be successful. I want to see people be happy. But in all truth and honesty, I do lives for myself because I watch my own lives and encourage myself. I need so much encouragement to get through the day. It's not even funny. Y'all are probably much further along than I am. But I'm constantly trying to encourage myself. I'm constantly trying to show up and be a better version of myself. One of the only things in life that scares me is me being the same person I was last year, this year. I want to be a better person this year than I was last year. I want to be a better person today than I was yesterday. And that's really challenging. And so it's a challenge I think we all struggle with, right? You know, when we can get really discouraged a lot of times, we're working on being maybe a better parent or a better wife or girlfriend or husband or boyfriend or maybe a better employee. And then what happens? You have a day and somebody just tries you, right? You have a day and somebody just tries you, and you become not the better boyfriend, girlfriend, parent, employee, whoever. And then you feel horrible, right? And you get discouraged and you start talking negatively to yourself right? Have you ever experienced that before? Here you are working hard to be the better version of yourself. Something happens and you so are not the better version of yourself all of a sudden. And then you get discouraged and you're like, man, I can't do better. I'm never going to do better. That's just who I am. No, it's okay. It happens to all of us. All of us have bad days. All of us have setbacks. All of us have things that go wrong. It does not mean that you are to give up or feel discouraged or talk about yourself, negatively. It just means that you're human. You're human. You're here on earth having a human experience, and you are, in fact, human yourself. And those things are going to happen. You're going to have days. Some are going to be better than others. You know what? Some are going to be better than others. I always try and think of it. We had a big thing happen in our house this week, and could have been taken all kinds of negative ways. And you know what? I just thank the Lord. Thank you, Lord, that I have a house. Thank you, Lord, I have a house for something to happen to it. You just have to try and be positive. You have to try and find the good in everything in your day, because there are going to be bad days and there are going to be bad things that happen. So try and look at things as positively as possible. You know, Thank you that I had food today to eat. Thank you that I had clothes to wear. If you have a car, thank you that I had a car to drive. Or if you don't have a car, thank you that I had bus fare, or subway fare, or whatever the case may be. Or thank you if you had to walk. Thank you that I have legs. I have legs that work and I can walk. So you just have to look at things positively and keep on going and do your best to be the better version of yourself every day, just a little bit better. It could be anything. Maybe you're always late to work every day, and maybe, today was the day that you were finally on time. Hey, that's a win. So take the wins where they come. Maybe you had time to make your lunch today and you're trying to save money from eating out. And today was the day that you were able to make your lunch, get up in time, make your lunch. You were able to take your lunch and you didn't have to waste money on eating out. Whatever it is, you know what, wins come. A lot of people, especially on the internet, right? Because you see people and it looks like they're balling out and they're throwing cash and all this kind of stuff, and you may think, oh, I'm a loser, I don't have that, I don't live this lifestyle, I'm not in a 5,000 square foot house. How many times have I told y'all that a lot of these influencers do not live in the homes that it looks like they live in? They're Airbnb rentals, okay, or they live with their parents. You don't judge how you are and where you are in life against other people, okay? Because you don't know their story. You don't know that they really have it going on like they make it look like they have it going on. People rent cars, man. People do all kinds of things and get on social media and make it look legit. Y'all just don't be knowing. You don't be knowing. Those hauls, that there was that girl who was stealing all that stuff from Target, and she was saying, "Oh, look at my Target haul," and she was stealing all the stuff. You don't know what people have going on. So don't judge where you are and what you have in life against somebody else. And then the people who do legitimately have something, you don't know how many years they had to struggle, that they were maybe homeless, that they were maybe sleeping on somebody's couch, right? That they maybe didn't have anything, that they were on food stamps. So don't be discouraged with where you are. If somebody has a lot legitimately, they went through a lot to get what they have. They went through a lot to get where they are. So don't look at them and compare yourself in the beginning to their near the end. Okay? Does that make sense? Always follow and be interested in your own journey and not other people's journeys. Does that make sense? Don't covet what somebody else has, because you don't know what they had to do to get what they have. Okay? Just don't go there. So I wanted to say that because I really didn't want to get on tonight. I'm really tired. I'm exhausted. I'm a little whiny. Like when I get tired, do y'all get whiny? When I get tired, I get real whiny like a child. Hey y'all. Okay. Hey YouTube. Hi. Um hey TikTok. I love you. I love YouTube and TikTok. I go live on Instagram as well. Instagram be crickets, but YouTube and TikTok, y'all are just like I love y'all. Instagram one day they'll catch up. They'll see who I am one day. They'll figure it out. But yeah, when I get tired, I get whiny. So I am tired, and I'm gonna lay this out to you because I otherwise I'll start to complain like a toddler. I'm very toddlerish when I get tired, and I had a really long day today. And then where I live, we had a severe storm, and y'all, let me tell you, that storm was crazy. It was crazy. Like I was like a tornado's about to drop. The sky got black, like it was pitch black, pitch black. You couldn't see more than 5 feet out the window at the house. It was like really scary. The storm was really scary. I thought we were going to have a tornado. And the rain and the wind was blowing like it wasn't coming down. It was blowing this way, and it was crazy. It was crazy. So that took a lot out of me too. But tonight we're going to talk about communication. Communication. Okay. One of my favorite topics. So y'all just ignore my hair. I haven't even had time to do my hair. Like I'm out here living, and I usually try and put myself together better than this, but I'm just out here living today. It is what it. Some days it's just like that, right? You have to be real. I strive to be transparent. Right? Today is one of those days. I'm just trying to make it. But anyway, communication. So that's my topic today. So to be successful, you need to know how to communicate. Okay? Because here's the deal: when you meet people or you get in certain situations, when you open your mouth your thoughts come out. That's the first thing. When you open your mouth, your thoughts come out. Second thing is when people are just meeting you, in order to be successful in this world, people are judgmental. I hate to say it. It's not nice. It's not kind. It is what it is. People are judgmental. There's been a couple days this week where I've had to leave the house and I just didn't have the energy or the time or the strength to put myself together. So I went out into the world looking like I don't normally look. And people were looking at me. Some people were looking at me because they made judgments based on how I was presenting myself. They made judgments on who I was and all these other things, which were, incorrect. But that's what it is. People judge, right? It's what people do. You don't even think about judging somebody and you judge them. So the same thing when you communicate. I want all of you to be effective communicators because you need to know how to communicate to be successful in this world. You need to know how to put your thoughts together. You need to know how to put your words together so that when you speak to people, it is easily seen and understood what it is that you are trying to relate to people when you talk to them. Also, you need to know how to speak, okay? You need to know how to speak. I'm not trying to be judgy. I'm just saying if you want to be successful, now there are some people in this world who are successful who do not know how to speak properly, okay? There are some people. But guess what? They have a talent that is so amazing in most cases that people overlook how they speak. So, if you don't have an amazing talent, if you're not a rock star basketball player, football player, soccer player, if you're not a amazing singer, if you're not a popular rapper, I don't know. But if you're not one of those people, you need to know how to speak so that when you open your mouth and you communicate with people, it is clear what your intention is. They can understand you. You're not mispronouncing words, right? You're clear, you're concise, you're to the point. I'm not normally to the point. That's something I'm working on, though. I am working on getting to the point. But basically, you need to know how to speak. And to think that you don't, or that it's cute that you don't know how to speak, is a is something that you need to understand if you want to be in certain rooms with certain people and have certain doors open to you and certain opportunities. You need to know how to speak. Okay, I don't know how other in any other way to put it. when you get to the point in your life when you say, you know what, I don't want to be just here. I don't want to be, when being a big fish in your small pond is no longer cute, and you're ready to get out there in the real world and get around some people who are movers and shakers and doing big things, and you want to do big things and you want big things for your life, you're going to need to know how to present yourself. You need to know how to dress. You need to know how to speak. You need to know, there's lots of things you need to know. But we're going to start with communication because that's one of the most important things. You're going to have to talk to these people. And so you need to know how to speak. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right. So, in communication, let me tell you some of the things that you don't want to do when you speak as much as possible, right? We all do certain things sometimes around certain people or whatever, or, catch ourselves saying something we don't want to say or we shouldn't have said. But you want to try and stay away from number one. So there's 7 things. Number one, okay, you might want to write this down. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but you might want to write it down. Number one is you want to stay away from gossip. Gossip is something that small people do. Gossip is something that small people do. People who make money, people who are serious about life, people who are very successful, they do not gossip. They don't gossip. Number one, if you gossip with someone, what do you think they're doing as soon as they get off the phone with you? They're calling up other people and they're gossiping about you. So they called you up to gossip about her. And then when they're done gossiping about her with you, they're going to call up somebody else and gossip about you. You don't want to be around people who gossip, and that's their currency. That's their money. Okay, that's what they trade in. You don't want that. Those are people with small minds. They're small minded. They don't have anything bigger or greater to think about or talk about. The extent that they have is talking about other people. That's very unattractive to successful people. Very unattractive. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is judging. All right, now we all judge. Now, here's the deal about judging. We all judge. You need to judge. It's something smart to do in life to an extent. Okay, to an extent. You have to judge to an extent because obviously you need to figure out where you are, who you're around. Do you want to be around these people over here? Do you want to be in this particular environment? You have to judge people to a certain extent, right? But there's judging and then there's judging, where you're walking around constantly saying ugly things about people, and you're holding yourself up like you're some kind of god, and everybody needs to measure up to you in some kind of way. That kind of judgment, like super righteous judgment, okay, yes, we do have things we need to judge. But you want to be careful because there's a difference between judging environments, judging different people that may be undesirable that you're around, and then just walking around passing judgment on everybody. Okay? You have to be careful with that one. Number 3 is negativity. Negativity. We all know somebody who is negative. You call them up, you're in a great mood. Hey, what's up? Girl, what's going on? My car broke down. My cat escaped out the house when I opened the door. The faucet on my sink broke and water got everywhere. Right? We all know somebody that you call up or you talk to or that you deal with that is always negative. And you just, you're all happy when you first called them up, and then there's always, right? There's always something like you just want to shake them, like, just have a good day, because they're always negative and they bring a negative energy with them. And you do not want people to associate you ever with negative energy. You don't want people to associate you with anything bad. Negativity is bad. You don't want to be associated with bad. You don't, because what happens is people will take a little bit of negativity from you, right? They'll take a little bit. But then there comes a point when they see you, they go the other way. They act like they didn't see you. Or when your number pops up, right? On caller ID, they're not going to answer because you're negative and they don't want that energy around them because they don't want negative things happening to them. So they don't. And where do you go with somebody who's negative? What do you talk about? Everything's bad. It can be a beautiful day outside. Oh, it's too hot. Or, whatever. So negativity, that's a big one. You want to stay away from negativity. That was number 3. Number 4, complaining. People who are complainers. Now, I'm going through the things you don't want, but I am going to also go through the things that you do want. So make sure you stick around for that. Okay, complainers. We also all know somebody who's constantly complaining, right? Their hip hurts, they stub their toe, their car won't start, their husband isn't acting right. Yeah, they never there's always something. There's always something. Once again, it's very closely joined with negativity. A complainer is someone who never is appreciative of anything. Everything is always could be better, or they're just not grateful. They're not grateful for anything. And I don't like people who aren't grateful for what they have. And most people, successful people, definitely do not like people who complain. Okay, they don't want anybody who complains around them because, in their opinion, if you're around me, you should be grateful, which means you shouldn't be complaining. So they don't want to hear any of that. Okay, they want to hear about people who are ready to talk about opportunities. So, complaining, that's a big one. That was number 4. Number 5, here's a big one. I did it today on the live already. Do you guys know what number 5 would be? Excuses. Excuses. People who make excuses. Now, yes, there are things that legitimately happen to people, right? Sometimes something happens in your life that is truly beyond your control. It truly is beyond your control, and you have to open up your mouth and tell somebody an excuse of why you were not able to do what it is that you said you were going to do. Okay, that's a legitimate thing. It does happen sometimes. But in general, if you're someone who constantly makes excuses, that means that you're a person who does not take personal responsibility. Personal responsibility. Yes, things happen that are maybe out of your control. But you know what you have to say as a successful adult? You have to say, that's my fault. I take responsibility for that, even if it was out of your control. People who are successful love people who take responsibility and ownership for anything that they did not do. That is super key. As soon as you meet somebody who's very successful, you will notice that they immediately want to see if you take ownership for what it is that's going on with you. Yes, sometimes things happen out of your control, but there are people who always make excuses. They can never do anything right. They can never do anything on time. They can never, whatever it may be, they always have an excuse for it. So you want to stay away from that. Number 6, lying. Lying. What else is there to say? If I can't trust you, we have nothing else. There's nothing else to talk about. Period. Period. You can't be around me. Because if you lie to me, you don't respect me. You don't respect me enough to tell me the truth. So I hope you know, if you're in a relationship with a liar, if you have a friend who's a liar and you're making excuses for that friend, hi. If you're making excuses for that friend, whatever the case may be, exit, run, run. Because somebody who will lie to you will, or somebody who will lie to somebody else will lie to you. And lies can get people killed. Lies can set people up. Lies, you can't deal with a liar. You can't. If you are a liar, you need to search your soul and ask why you feel the need to lie to people, why you don't respect people, why you can't tell the truth. Why is that? And if you out there encounter a liar, run. Just run. Don't ask questions. You don't need to get all deep and find out what happened in their childhood. Just run. Liars are trouble. They are bad news. Okay, number 7, last one, dogmatism. These are things that you do not want to do when communicating, when opening up your mouth. Okay, number 7, dogmatism. Dogmatism basically means that you have to make people see life the way you do. You are not accepting of people who do not see life the way that you do. You are dogmatic, okay? So that's a big thing. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. And think, there are billions of people on this earth, okay? Everybody has an opinion. That's the spice of life. It is very unattractive when you open your mouth and you communicate with people and they're telling you that they're right. And think about politics, and I'm not going to get political, okay? But just think about politics. Y'all know what's going on in politics, right? Okay, think about what it's like when you listen to somebody who is unable to accept facts because they're convinced that their political candidate is the best and is right. And you can show them actual proof and data, and they will argue you down. That's somebody who is dogmatic. It's very unattractive, okay? People are allowed to have their own thoughts and their own opinions, and they do not have to or need to line up with yours, okay? So if you are dogmatic, you cannot learn. If you are so convinced that you are right about everything, then that leaves no room. Then that means you're perfect. And that leaves no room to learn. Okay? So successful people do not like people who are dogmatic. You don't want to be dogmatic. All right. So now we've learned just now the 7 things that you do not want to do when communicating. Let's talk about the 4 things that you do want to do. Okay? So I hope you have a pen and a paper by this point. You can write it down. It's an acronym called HAIL. 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 These are the 4 things that you do want to do when you communicate successfully. Okay? Are you ready? Number 1 is H in HAIL. HAIL. The H stands for honesty. The opposite of what we were just talking about, which was lying. You want to be honest. You want to represent yourself honestly in your communications. People will respect you 10,000 times more if you say, you know what? I don't know the answer. I'm not sure, but I will go find it out. That's being honest. If you don't know the answer to something, don't try and lie and come up with all kinds of craziness. People know very quickly when you open your mouth if you're being honest or not. Typically, people know. They won't mess with you. They won't want anything to do with you if you're not honest with them. Even if it's going to hurt their feelings, it's very important to be honest with people, even if it's going to hurt their feelings. Okay? So, H is for honesty. A is for authenticity. You want to be authentic when you're talking and dealing with people. That is currency. That is very attractive when you are authentic. It is very hard oftentimes for someone, let's say in social media, to keep followers if they're not authentic. If everything that they do seems manufactured all the time. The perfect house, the perfect this, the perfect that. A lot of times some people obviously are attracted to that. But a lot of times people really gain huge social media followings because they're honest with people. They're a real person, right? People want to deal with other people that seem like they're real, people who are authentic, okay? So authenticity means You're having some transparency. You're a real person. You come on and you can say, you know what, my cat vomited all over the floor. I don't have a cat. I don't want y'all to think because I'm talking about cats. I have a cat. I'm not a cat person. But anyway, if you can come on social media and say, my cat vomited all over the floor today, and my kids, were sick and they were screaming all day long. And you know what? I'm just not feeling it today. I thought I was going to go live, but I just can't do it because I'm not feeling it today. I'm exhausted, I'm cranky, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow. People will identify with that and they'll respect that. So, people who are successful want to see people who are authentic. They want to see what is your true self, okay? Not just you trying to look all cute and perfect on the internet, right? But what is your true self? Who are you really? So, being authentic is really important. That's the A, inhale. Okay. The I is integrity. Man, if you don't have integrity, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have integrity, I can't be friends with you. Period, point blank. I can't. I can say hi to you while we're passing each other at Walmart. But if you don't have integrity, I can't deal with you. And integrity means be your word, be what you say. If you say to your child, I'm going to show up for your baseball game, your word is bond. You better be at that baseball game, or else don't tell your kids you're coming. So, integrity means you say it, you do it, and you stand by it, and people can rely on you and they can trust you to be what you said. Somebody with high integrity, if they say that they're going to do something, people don't even stress. They're like, I know. So and so said they're going to be here, they're going to be here. They said they were going to do this, they're going to do it. You don't have to worry about it. And you don't. That's somebody who has integrity. You need to have personal integrity. You need to respect yourself. You need to make sure that when you tell yourself you're going to do something, that you actually do it. That's the first step, is trusting yourself, having self-integrity. That's the first step. Trusting yourself, having self-integrity, and then having integrity when you deal with other people. Okay? And last but not least, the L inhale, our acronym, is for love. Is for love. And I'm just going to speak on it. This might seem a little judgy, maybe, right? I'm going to speak on it. I've spoken on it before. There are some very popular social media people out there, okay, motivational speakers and such of the like. And some of them are very, very nasty and very ugly. The way they be talking to y'all. Talking to y'all like you're trash or like you're stupid, cursing at you, that kind of thing. Okay? Now, maybe that's what kind of person you are. Maybe you down here and you want people to talk to you like you're down here. But last time I checked, all of us are trying to be better, right? So you can't have somebody curse you out and you think that that's okay. That's an okay way to motivate someone. That's not okay. It's not okay to curse people out, especially people you don't know. It's not cute. It's not cool. And it just says that you have a gutter mindset somewhere. Somewhere you got a gutter mindset, right? You need to deal with people with love. And if you are listening to a motivational speaker or following someone in whatever walk on the internet, please make sure that they deal with their followers with love, because without their followers, they'd be nobody. They wouldn't be making money. They wouldn't be living in the house and having the lifestyle and everything else, right? So if somebody is a motivational speaker or a coach or somebody like that, and they're talking all kind of crazy ways to their followers, what does that say how they see you? And what does it say about you that you're following them? I'm just saying. So anyway, you want to deal with people with love, from a place of love. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you, right? because what you give is what you're going to get back. I promise you. What you give is what you're going to get back. So everybody wants to feel special. Everybody wants to feel heard. Everybody wants to feel important. These are things that are very important to us as people. We want to feel heard, loved, valued, and seen. Heard, loved, valued, and seen. We want all of those things. And that's important. And in order to do that, when you communicate with somebody, you have to speak to people from a place of love. Okay, screaming at people, some of these people, motivators, they scream at the people who follow them and call them all kinds of names and everything else. That is not love. They may think that's tough love, right? But that is not love. When you respect somebody, you treat them with respect. You treat them with dignity. You speak to them a certain way. Would you curse out your grandma? Maybe some of y'all would. Maybe y'all some are, some of y'all would maybe. But that's the idea, that you speak to people like as if they were your mom or if they were your grandmother, right? Somebody that you respect. That's how you want to talk to people. Whenever I go somewhere, people tease in my town that I'm the quote unquote mayor of the town, because everywhere I go, my goal when I see people is to spread love, is to spread happiness, is to spread joy. I want to put a smile on your face. I want, after you come in contact with me today, for your day to be better because you came in contact with me and I spoke to you and I treated you with respect and I made you laugh and I made you smile. I made you feel good about yourself. So when I left you, you were in a good mood. Now, I don't know what's going to happen after I leave you, but I think we all should strive to do that, to love on one another. Look at the state of this world. Look at the state of this world. We heading into World War III. I'm telling you people, there's about to be drought, famine, widespread disease, and everything else. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. And one of the main reasons that it's about to go down, and especially that we're going to head into World War III without getting political or saying names or countries or whatever, is because people don't know how to speak to other people with respect. And they think it's okay or cute or cool to call people out their name, to be disrespectful to them, to act like they're not just as important as you are. That's bad, y'all. That's real bad. When people deal with you like you're a nobody, you're a nothing. They speak to you like you're nobody or nothing. Have you ever been standing with someone before? You're with somebody, right? You're hanging out. It could be your girlfriend, your boyfriend, female friend, male friend, whatever. You're with them, right? You're hanging out. And somebody comes up to you who knows the person that you're hanging out with, and they just start a conversation with them. Like you're not even right there. Like you're not even right there. And they have a whole conversation and then they say, okay, bye, and walk off and never once made eye contact with you, never once acknowledged you, even though they know good and well that you were right there, right? That's a lack of love. That's a lack of respect. We all want to be appreciated and we all need love. So if you want to receive love, you need to learn how to give love. Okay, so treat everybody with love, with kindness, with tenderness. People out here are going through stuff. I told y'all, I think the other day, that literally every day, two people on my Facebook page, and I only have 6,000 followers. Okay, and that's not a lot of people. Two people per day, two people guaranteed per day, talk about they want to unalive themselves. They want to give up. And I kid you not, it's always the people who seem to have it all together the day before. And now it's just like, so you know that it's not a sudden thing. This has been something has been not going on well in their life for a long time. But on social media, you would never know, right? That's why I say don't covet somebody else's life because You don't know what their life is really like behind closed doors, and you don't know what they may have had to do to get what they have. People are going crazy from stress, from anxiety, from childhood trauma that was never healed. It's deep. It is deep out here. It is deep out here. People are going through a lot. People are really suffering. So, anyway, it's 11:21. I have to get to bed. And so I hope that that helps. You can replay this, right? And remember, everything that I do, everything, all of my lives, um, are you're gonna find them either on YouTube or on Facebook. I post content on Facebook that I don't post on YouTube necessarily. So if you want to see everything of mine, everything, you need to be on Facebook. I'm under the Texan Tish Tillis handle on all social media. That means YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Texan Tish Tillis. You can check me out. And so yeah, sometimes just during the middle of the day, I'll just be hitting, I'll be like, "Ooh, I got a live in me." And I'll just go live just on Facebook, right? Because I'm out somewhere and I only have one phone with me instead of all three. And so I have no way of going live on all socials. So if that's the case, then I just go live on Facebook. So I have a lot of things coming up. I'm really excited. I've got a collab coming up that y'all are going to want to pay attention to. I'll speak on that coming up later. And then I also am starting, I don't want to say starting because I've already started it and it's been ongoing, but I have some, some we have some wellness and health related things that we're going to incorporate into our lives because we all need to be out there in the sunshine. A lot of us need to lose some weight. A lot of us don't like the way we look. Okay, a lot of us don't like the way we look. And remember, you can change that. If there's something about you that you don't like, you can change that. And so we're going to focus a lot on that coming up. So I'm really excited about that. There's going to be monthly giveaways for those of you who want to participate. So more information coming up very soon on all of that. But like I said, you can do a replay and you will be able to see you'll be able to write down what I spoke about if you're interested in it. There's the 7 things that you don't want to do when communicating. And then there was our acronym, which was HAIL, which was honesty, authenticity, integrity, and love. Okay, key communication points that you want to master. So, y'all have a beautiful rest of your night, all 30 minutes that are left of it. And Lord willing, I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support greatly. You are greatly valued. I see you, I value you, and I thank you. Have a great night. Bye. My phone is literally about to die here. Ding, ding. Oops. I don't know what I hit here. Good night. All right, y'all. Good night. Thanks for watching.